everybody. Welcome to another Winter 2014 S.W.A.T review. My name is Alan, otherwise known as Thieves.
I'm Kate, otherwise known as Narataki.
We are from ReverseThieves.com, as well as the Speakeasy podcast, where you can go and get a bunch of blog posts every week, as well as other S.W.A.T reviews and other podcasts.
This time, we're looking at Noragami from Studio Bones, and it is streaming on Funimation. And it's about this guy named Yato, and he's sort of this would-be god. He's like an up-and-coming, wants to be. And I don't know what he's fighting yet. Like, those sort of, like, half-phantom creatures that are showing up.
They seem to be the manifestations of people's frustrations and fears, because the first time we see him, he's fighting this monster that's, like, taking residence outside of a school where all these kids are just crazy about the tests or zeroing on this one girl who's come back and got special privileges because she's sick, and it all seems to be centered on their kind of negative feelings. And then once again, when we see later in that hospital, all those people who are sick and don't think they're going to make it, they seem to be making monsters as well.
So we have him, and then his path crosses with this girl named Hiyori, and she saves him from an oncoming bus, and then her soul gets sort of split from her body, but she goes back into her body. But then throughout the episode, we kind of realize that she's still like in this in between. And there are some hilarious moments where she loses her body and she doesn't realize she's not in her body, and her body's like slung over this fence, and she's like running around and she doesn't know yet really what's going on. But kind of we learn as the episode finishes up that she's in this she's half phantom and half human, and obviously she's gonna team up with our would-be god because he's lost his last partner like right at the beginning. So I liked her a lot because she's almost like the muscle, and because he's not super competent. I mean, he's clearly able to do what he needs to do, but he needs a partner in order to do it. And so I like the idea of them like kind of having to work together and not one being necessarily like subordinate to the other.
I got from the opening and closing that he was going to get another, because the gods fight with sacred weapons. I thought that orange-haired kid was going to become this...
There's an orange-haired kid?
In the opening and closing, yeah.
I thought he was like blonde or gray-haired.
Oh, okay. But yeah, the shorter kid with the light hair. I thought he was going to become the sacred weapon. And I felt like she was, but going to be his, like, kind of an intermediary, or maybe, like, his sidekick. Because it made it seem like he was going to form a contract. My theory is he's going to form a contract to get her back into her body, but he's got to become, like, a real deal god to do something that powerful.
And she's going to help him do that. I liked it. I thought it had, like, some fun to it. It has a little, like, monster of the week. But then it also could have... It doesn't have, like, the melancholy undertones of something like Mushishi or Natsume Yujinsho. But at the same time, it feels a little bit in that vein of, like, we're probably going to learn where, you know, each monster comes from within somebody and, like, why it's there. I can see that sort of being the crux of episodes in a somewhat episodic fashion. But there is this overarching, get her back in her body, Yato's trying to become a real god, and we haven't met the kid yet that Al mentioned, so we don't really know what his story is yet.
But yeah, so I feel like he's going to get a sacred weapon and they're going to have to fight together. But I really like that since he had no sacred weapon, that the girl saved him twice, actually. She saved him once from the bus, and then once when they get attacked by a frog monster. She's actually the one who does the heavy hitting because she's a big fan of mixed martial arts.
Which she's, like, squeeing over at the beginning of the episode. Yeah, that's what I kind of liked, that she almost felt like the muscle, but at the same time, Yato is competent because we see him at the beginning, but he sort of needs his sacred weapon in order to be competent, because otherwise he's just competent at running away.
And it's from a shonen magazine, but I did not notice a lot. I mean, there was a girl with guns that seemed to be some kind of rival god or something.
Oh, in the opening.
Yeah.
Right.
But it did seem to be a focus of one girl and two guys being the main cast. It wasn't like the standard, I'm a guy surrounded by tons of hot chicks, kind of.
Well, I mean, that's not how all. I mean, a shonen fighting series wouldn't be.
I just
like
thought.
that. I mean, not that this is not a shonen fighting series.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's what it is. Anyway, like
I just felt it felt a little more unisex without
Yes.
going into that kind of black butler. This isn't a shonen magazine, but it's for girls.
oh yeah, it definitely doesn't feel like that. It feels like kind of neutral territory because I think like both Yato and Hiyori like bring something to the table, but they're also like both attractive characters. I don't know if there's going to be like a love story or not sure. At first I thought that she and the cat got combined
Yeah.
into like one, like I thought that was going to be because they're looking for a cat throughout this episode. And so I thought that was cuz she has a tail.
Well, I had that same thought. So you're not.
It was a trick.
But yeah, I feel like a lot of times when people hear, oh, unisex for a boys magazine, they think, oh, a show that's really aimed at girls. But I felt like you said, this was more for everybody, more than a shoujo series pretending to be a shonen series.
And I liked it. I thought
Yeah.
it had, fun personalities. I thought the action was like well executed. I'm curious about what the overall story is going to be. So I thought it was like a nice, good opening episode. The humor at the beginning was a little like forced, but I thought it got better as it went. So
Well, I really like the main girl's reactions to things, I thought. And when he's dealing with his like first partner, yeah, it did feel a little worse, but they have a better chemistry, Yuri and Yato.
So I'd recommend this if you have a slot open, that I was talking about earlier, that it's like hard to fit in new shows because a lot of shows from last season are continuing, but this one seems like one worth checking out.
Yeah, definitely. It seems fun and it has potential, and that's really all that you can ask for in the first episode. All right, see you guys next time.